You're listening to Good Morning Albany, a motivational podcast to get your wheels turning. You're here with Shalene Love, a very sought after wedding and portrait photographer. I'll be sitting down with creatives to discuss their process, their experience, and how to make a difference. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you this morning?
I'm all right. We got a special guest, Myla Silence.
Woo! Silent Cries of a Military Wife, guys.
She has a book out, Silent Cries of a Military Wife. Can you let the people know a little bit about your book?
I sure can. So my book is about my life. I got married when I was 18 and I became a military wife. I moved away from my family and friends and I really had nobody. I used to sit in my closet and write down my thoughts because I felt like that was my only way to escape. And what was in my journal now became my book, Silent Cries of a Military Wife.
What were you trying to escape?
I was being abused mentally, in some cases physically, mainly mentally, which really hurts you the most verbally. And I would just write it down because it was like it happened so much that I'd never wanted to forget what was being said to me.
Okay. So you're 18, you become a military wife. Where are you as far as like location? You moved from where and ended up where?
So we moved from Troy, New York to Athens, Georgia, and I was there for 6 months. And then from Athens, Georgia, we moved to San Diego, California.
So you guys moved together, but is he like getting deployed places or like how does that work?
So in Athens, he was not deployed. He was in school. In California, we were stationed there, and he didn't get deployed until later, like a few years later on, while we were stationed there.
Okay. So I'm just trying to understand, like, where did it go wrong?
I think it was always wrong. When we started dating at 16, he was my first boyfriend. So, and I can't really say it started off wrong. It was good at first. And then he just kind of like switched. It was like he would be calling me 1,000 times. And then it was like he was very possessive. It was like if I went out, I couldn't wear this. And I'm 16 years old. So it's kind of like, as sickening as this sounds, I kind of liked it because I felt like, okay, somebody likes me. But then it was still wrong because I felt like, okay, I'm uncomfortable. So I allowed that to happen and it continued on for years.
It continued on for years. Why didn't you leave early on?
I think I'm a product of what I saw. I watched people in my family go through the same thing. So I felt like if it was okay for them, it was okay for me.
So when you say you saw people in your family go through the same thing, how was your relationship with your mom?
We haven't had the greatest relationship, but we have a really good relationship now. When I was growing up, I felt like I was treated differently. She will say different, but I do feel like I was treated differently.
How so?
I felt like I couldn't do as much as my siblings did. Like she had like a tight leash on me. I felt like in some cases she wasn't always the nicest to me, especially like there was a situation with my father that happened. And after that situation, it was kind of like I had to deal with being treated differently all the time. Like I felt like she didn't love me.
I mean, that's deep. So the situation with your father, do you care to share?
I'm not going to bring him up just because I'm not comfortable talking about that situation, but it was a cheating situation. I can say that. And the person that he cheated with, it was just not a good situation. And my mother took it really hard. And I felt like she took it out on me as if I brought the two together.
Yeah. You stayed early on. Do you guys have any kids together?
We do. We have one child.
And how is that working out? Like co-parenting, are you guys still together or?
Our situation is just really jacked up. I always hate to discuss it because it's like we've gotten back together, we've separated. It's like, but I can say we're both very good parents. We have our different style of parenting, and I think we do good in that aspect.
Okay. So, Silent Cries of a Military Wife. You got to give me a little bit more. I want to know a little bit more about the book. I want the viewers, the watchers, the listeners to know a little bit more about the book because I read a little bit from like the preview.
Okay.
And what I've got from it, it was like, it was rough. It was tough. But let the viewers know?
So, I mean, if you've read my book, you probably say this girl has low self-esteem, which I did for years. I never felt like I was pretty. I never felt like anybody liked me. When I first got together with him, he was the first person to kind of make me feel like, I was wanted. So, for that feeling and like nobody else making me feel like that, I was like, okay, this is the person that I'm going to probably spend a very long time with. We got together and a lot of stuff ended up happening, a lot of cheating. He slept with a best friend of mine. I think that's where like the disconnect started. That was in California. I'll never forget that to this day. My uncle had passed away and I was at a funeral and her husband called me and found her journal where she was bragging about sleeping with my husband.
Mm.
So that was kind of like the first thing that ever happened to me. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm here and he's there, and that was my best friend. She was probably the first wife that I ever got close with. And I think because of her, I don't trust people.
Mm.
And then it continued. It was just little things, whether it was cheating or he was talking to another female. And you kind of get used to it. It's like you say to yourself, if somebody really loves you enough that you would leave. And I said that to myself and I didn't leave. I just allowed myself to get used to him cheating on me.
Yeah. How though? Like, how do you tell yourself this is something I'm going to put up with?
I don't think I told myself. It would be like, how do I describe it? He would be nice to me. And it'd be like, he'd be sorry and it was this and it was that. And I would fall back into the trap because I was like, you know what? If he's sorry, he means it. But then it would happen again. And then it's like, okay, it's happening again and I'm getting the same sorry. But I don't know why I just didn't leave. And you know what? I can say I know why I didn't leave. Financially, I couldn't do it.
Mm.
I mean, we had over the years gotten so many bills together. And I feel like when people say you can pick up and leave, no, you can't pick up and leave. If financially you cannot leave the situation and then you're going into another situation and you don't have money like that, your family is going to eventually ask you for money and you don't have money to pay them. You have a child. So of course I stayed. I mean, I looked into women's shelters. I did many different things and there was no help.
That's tough. So did you ever cheat back?
I did. And I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that. I felt like it was kind of like a get even. But then I felt like, you know what, that's just not even cool to do. But the stuff that I had went through, like not feeling wanted, I mean, you go from somebody loving you more than anything. And then next thing you know, it's kind of like you're being put down on the regular. You wake up and it's like there's something to complain about from that other party. And that's annoying. It's like it makes you not want to wake up.
Mm.
So I started talking to someone because I just wanted to feel wanted. And it wasn't supposed to turn into anything else, which it really didn't. It was kind of like, I'm just going to say it was a partial accident. Granted, never mind, it wasn't a partial accident. I knew what I was doing. I'm at fault for what I did, and I can't take it back.
Mm. So you're going through all these trials and tribulations with your husband. Did you at any point ever feel like you were going to like take your life?
I did. It's in the book as well. There was a time where I was in my bathroom and I was hanging. I had tied a belt around my neck. I did not want to live. And I was in there and I was literally gasping for air and my phone rang and it was my uncle who passed away. I don't even know how I got the strength to get up, but I got the strength to get up. And it was kind of like in that moment, I should have left, but I still stayed stupidly.
Did you ever have these kind of conversations with your husband? Like, I feel like I want to take my life. I feel like we aren't going to make it. I feel like I want to see other people. I feel like I just want to leave completely.
We had some conversations where I did tell him I felt like I did want to end my life because it was tough to have to go through that stuff all the time. It's like you wake up and you could be a lazy bitch this day, a dirty bitch that day. It was always something different. Or like, I don't know if anybody's ever done this to you, but like you could clean the counters, you could do whatever you want cleaning wise, and they make you get eye level to the counter so you can see what you didn't do.
Mm.
So it was very stressful. My mother got to the point of where she would have me call her and just tell her where I was going. because back then we didn't have share location. But I would call my mother and just let her know I'm going here, just in case you want to know, which I feel like is really sad when you get to that point.
You have brothers?
I do.
You have uncles?
I do.
Cousins?
I do.
Did you share any of this information with them?
I did share with a family member, and I don't think it was necessarily me. I think my mother informed one of the people, and they did fight. There was a fight that had taken place with the family, and with him and the family. And even though that happened, we still continued to be together. But after that, it was kind of like I would go to people and I would get like comments that made me feel uncomfortable coming to them. So now I don't go to anybody. I just keep it to myself. If I'm going through something, I don't want to have to call someone and tell them what I'm going through.
Did you ever have the idea of like going to the police?
I did, but I was scared to because of his career. I don't know why. Well, I mean, that's all he had, and I didn't want to take that away from him.
So you love this guy so much that you endured this pain, this agony, and you still were willing to protect him.
I did. But eventually I can tell you, I did go to staff, but they had already heard that he had slept with someone. And they were questioning me and they were saying, if this happened, we need to know. We're going to push to get him kicked out. But then I realized that the dude that was speaking to me was sleeping with the same one that my husband had slept with. So at that point, it's like, how do I feel comfortable telling you what he did? And I feel like it's basically something out of vengeance. Are you mad that he was sleeping with the same person that you slept with? So I didn't say anything.
Yeah, this is tough. I'm going to purchase the book today. I will read the book and I will go live and let the people know my thoughts on it.
Okay.
But it just sounds like you went through so much, and now that you have a voice, you're voicing everything that happened to you, and a lot of people aren't doing that. So I want to say I see the strength.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you would like to say about Silent Cries of a Military Wife?
I'd like to say personally, I think that it's a good read. And I feel like for someone who's going through the same situation, it could possibly help you. It may help you get out of a situation where you feel like you're stuck. But I also want to let people know that if you are in a situation where you can't leave, do not let anybody ever make you feel like you're stupid for staying or you were voluntarily victimized because you stayed. You were not. I mean, there are options, and say you do go and take those options, but you get no help. There's nothing that you can do. So please don't ever let anybody make you feel like you're stupid or it's your fault that this is happening to you. It's not your fault.
I want everyone that's listening to read. Hold on. Where can they read the introduction to the book?
So if you just Google my book, Silent Cries of a Military Wife, it'll come up.
Okay. I want the viewers that's watching and listening to Google Silent Cries of a Military Wife and just read the first paragraph. You're going to love this book. I'm purchasing the book today. But to continue, right? What has been the most difficult part of leaving your husband?
I think the most difficult part of any situation is, figuring out how to still be good for your child. It's we still have a long process to go, me and him, which I'm not going to discuss, but we have a lot of stuff that has to still get finalized, and a lot of stuff that people don't know that's happening behind closed doors, because I just don't want to tell people exactly what is going on, because I feel like as soon as you tell someone, they want all the details of it. So I'm just going to leave it to where it is, and I'm going to give it to God at this point, because I just want a better outcome.
I've seen women in your predicament where they don't leave. They endure the pain, the suffering forever. So I like what you said when you were speaking to the women. Don't feel like it's your fault. You know what I mean? It's just a tough topic. And again, I commend you for taking a step, voicing what you went through, and helping other women.
Thank you.
So you guys that are listening, Google Silent Cries of a Military Wife. Read the first paragraph. We have Myla Silence in here.
Yes, we do.
And I don't know, I'm kind of lost for words because I'm just like replaying what you were saying, and I just see the strength.
Thank you.
So if you can say anything to a woman that may be in your situation right now that you were in, words of encouragement, what would you say?
Don't be scared to leave. Even if you're not financially stable, I feel like you can do it. You don't have to depend on someone else. And if you do have to stay, just know, even if your family isn't there for you, you can always reach out to me on my Facebook page, Myla Silence, and I will definitely respond back to you. Just to have somebody to talk to. I understand not having anybody. So if you ever feel like you need someone to talk to, I'm always here.
Thank you for taking the time to come on Good Morning Albany.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this opportunity.
I mean, thank you, man. If you guys are going through anything, seek some help. Just seek some help is all I can say. Seek some help. Reach out to Myla Silence herself and stay strong. Make sure you guys get up, get out, and get you some. Bless up.